it is 6:01 p.m. and I'll call the meeting to order. We can ask the committee liaison to go into the roll call.
Yes. Angie Tellez, Robert Tellez,
Present.
Lucy Morris,
Present.
Juan Caballero,
Present.
Romeo Rodriguez.
Present.
And we do have a forum today.
Okay. We have a copy of the minutes from the previous meeting. I'd entertain a motion to approve the minutes as read.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve the minutes as presented.
There's been a motion. Is there a second?
I second.
There's been a second. Any discussion? If there's no discussion, I'll go ahead and call the previous question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Okay, we'll go ahead and give citizen comments some more time, and we'll go ahead and go into introduction of the new committee members. I guess Mr. Caballero, Mr. Rodriguez,
Juan Caballero, I'm brand new to the committee. Thank you for having me.
and who appointed you, sir?
Mr. Garro appointed me. Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez?
Name's Romero Rodriguez, retired educator, and I was appointed by Mayor Pete Sines.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
If there's no other new committee members, we can go ahead and continue with the agenda item number 6. If staff can give us some input.
Sorry. Discussion with possible action on the approval of the hotel motel and general fund third-party funding presentation of applications and scores. So we had introduced the hotel motel and general fund applications via our eBid system. Everyone had a chance to go ahead and review those applications, and then they were opened for scoring, so everyone did have a chance to go in and score. If we can go ahead and discuss scores at this moment.
To dive right into it.
So on our screen and on your packet, you'll go ahead and see a copy of the hotel motel would be the first one. And these would be, you'll be able to see the hotel motel agencies, organizations and agencies that submitted applications, and you will see the average scores that were submitted for their applications.
They're not listed in order, they're just listed in alphabetical order.
Yes, they're listed
Not
in
by score.
alphabetical order. No, they're listed in alphabetical order, and they do have their scores in the second column. You will see what they are currently receiving for this fiscal year, and then the amount that they requested for the following fiscal year.
There is no cutoff score.
So any agency that scored below 70
Okay.
would not qualify. At this moment, there is no agency that scored below a 70.
Mhm.
So we would not have any issue with that. The following column that you'll see would be the committee recommendations, and that is when we'll go ahead and get into amount recommendations for the hotel motel. You will also see the use of funds column that would be per agency, and just a brief summary based on their application as to how they will be using the funds they are requesting for year 2022 to 2023.
I have a question on Laredo Main Street.
Yes.
I realized that the previous amount was zero due to the fact that there was no event that they held. Is that correct?
Yes, they did not submit an application to receive hotel motel funds in the last fiscal year, and that was...
What the amount they received prior to this? This is the first time they applied?
Yes.
This is the first time they applied.
Okay.
That's the reason why there's a 0 for the previous year.
So there weren't any other prior?
No, this is their first initial application. If that's, no, it's not.
I'm sorry to interrupt. So they used to get, prior to COVID, they did receive funding,
Okay.
and it was around $25,000 that they would receive, which is to pay for Jimbuzi, the event for Jimbuzi.
Okay.
What was the total available for the hotel motel?
So Oh, I do have that over here. Let me see.
That's what it's, $552,000.
So right here, you'll be seeing. So this would be the available balance, and then you'll be seeing the. Excuse me, amount requested.
So there's a differential of how much? Is it 11,000?
No, no, no.
57.
57,000, sorry.
If we allot what they requested.
Yes.
And if you were to allot what they had last year, what would that amount to? If there was no changes, if you keep them all the same?
If it's there on the, if you,
It's $520,000?
yes,
Yes.
It's on the.
not including Laredo
So it would
Main
be
Street.
this bottom amount.
Mhm.
520, I'm sorry.
Since,
Yeah,
yeah, if we were to base ourselves off of what we funded last year, to the agencies that applied this year, we wouldn't be funding Laredo Main Street. That would be, they would.
Could we pass a recommendation for tentatively approving the 520 that was issued in 2021-2022 fiscal year, with the exception of Laredo Main Street, which was 0 in the past? That would give us a total of 540,
Mhm.
and we would still have 12,000 to play with.
To go over, city council has to approve, right?
Yes, this is merely a recommendation.
Recommendation. Yeah, I also think we shouldn't ask for more, just
I agree.
stay with what.
We shouldn't ask for more.
Available funds.
With the only exception of Main Street.
Mhm.
So would we want to include that 20,000 in the 520, and then the 540 would be what we would recommend?
I would.
And we could save the 12,000, say for next year? Because we don't necessarily have to,
Correct, you don't have to add.
yeah, we don't have to allocate all the funds.
I like that.
Was there a difference for like Laredo Center of the Arts, why they went up so much? Most all the others are stayed, you know, and.
I don't see any.
From 150 to 174? No?
And I
No.
think their detail explained that mainly it was used for
Just-
rent.
Mhm. And then that's
That's
already
what I saw.
been, and that was already included in the fifth, not the original allotment.
Yes.
So could you repeat again what you just said, that we would pretty much keep the amounts
The same
that we
amounts
had,
as-
and we would do the
as-
20
For Main Street.
And that would give us a total of 540, and it gives us 12,000 for council to look at other ways that they may want to either redistribute or save as a cushion. I don't have a problem.
If someone would like to put that in the form of a motion, you could definitely,
Go ahead.
Sure. I'll motion to recommend that we stick with the previous amount allotted of 520 plus the 20,000 for
Main Street.
Laredo Main Street, giving us a total of 540.
Okay.
we have a motion, is there a second?
I second.
There's been motion and seconded, is there any discussion? If there's no further discussion, we'll go ahead and move to the previous question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Okay, we can go ahead and move on. We would be moving on to our general fund.
This is gonna be the hard one.
This is gonna be the tough
Big
one.
difference.
Yeah, there's a big differential here.
What's the budget?
Could you go to that
444.
sidebar there and let us see what the total is? Okay, requested, available,
We have it.
remaining.
So the remaining is based off of what we gave last year, so this is what we have based off of last
For
year.
this, okay.
But available funds at the moment, we have,
No.
it's not right, sorry.
So the available funds
Yeah,
at the
no.
moment would be 444 for
444?
443, if I'm not mistaken. Don't quote me on that. just yet.
444, 4,
443?
three.
Give me 1 second, I'll
Give
just
her a
verify
dollar.
that amount.
400,400.
There it
Give the
is.
dollar just to have all four.
All four, can I donate it to the city?
No, so the thing is that we based it, budget based it off on this amount since it was approved last year for this current fiscal year.
Okay,
I'll just verify that amount.
so we got a couple here that weren't from last year. 1, 2.
Yes, there is.
We don't show, oh, okay, just,
What would
I
be-
see Imaginarium
Imaginarium wasn't on last year?
and
No.
the Laredo Film
There are
Society.
tennis,
There's-
Neighbor Works Laredo.
Sorry, so that is the correct amount, 444,443.
So there's four.
So on the
Laredo
screen,
Film
that
is
is the
one,
correct
I'm
amount.
sorry, could you go over those again?
It's the ones that say zero.
Yes,
Oh,
On the current amount, 21, 2022.
oh, okay, okay, okay.
And there's four of them.
Got it, thank you.
You can change it.
okay, so. I'm not sure why there isn't that change reflected, but Imaginarium did receive, so Imaginarium was receiving,
Oh, they did?
through this fiscal year. It was-
What did they receive, do you know?
10,000, I think.
Oh, it's up there.
I can check.
So we're updating the current total at the bottom.
Yes, so the total goes up to
I
407.
have it on the spreadsheet.
Well-
And Neighbor Works.
So if we do the math and we subtract what was done last year to what is actually available, what is the amount that staff gets?
I'm sorry?
If you do the math on what was done yesterday to the amount that is being requested, what was done last year to what is being requested, what is the amount? That will-
$416,000.
400, what's?
16.
Because it changes.
416,000 is what we're off by.
But it's at several of them, like area health
Less than
went way up. A lot of them are asking like 5,000 last year and 50,000 this year. And then the Bethany double.
Okay.
Oh, the difference with the ones that apply.
Correct.
Oh, sorry.
Yes, so the difference is 453. 453, 183. Yes.
And that's the difference
And we-
between.
What was funded this current year for those that applied?
The 407?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
And then what is being requested?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But in our case, we're just focusing on the 444 that's available.
That's what's available, yes.
So if we were to do, we're just talking, but if you were to do the allocations from last year to this year, not change anything, we would have 397,000.
I can go ahead and
407.
give you that. Yes. So take it over here.
$37,000 left.
37,
If we allotted everything
the way it was last
the way
year.
it was last year, we would have $37,000 to play with for the other organizations that wanted this year,
To come in.
Which there's
To come in.
3.
which is 3, which I think if you added them all up, it would be more than that.
Right.
If we
About
voted.
54.
Yeah, so we would have to make some tough choices. And I think Mr. Cabello's correct, it's around $54,000 that they're requesting in addition
My,
to.
my thoughts are that we try to see how that looks. In other words, work the 37 with the new ones that have just come in and see how we can distribute this amount accordingly, depending on their score and their functionalities in terms of what they're doing for the community. It sounds easier said than done, I'm sure. But I don't know if that makes any kind of logical sense.
So we would need Laurel Film Society,
Yeah, it would be
Society,
these
Tennis
3.
Association,
Just 3, right?
and NeighborWorks, which they're asking for.
NeighborWorks is asking
20, 30.
24.
I mean, even spread in between the 3, how much would that be?
It depends how much you would want to give each.
So it's 57.
Let's say we give NeighborWorks their 10, and then we split the rest between
Yeah.
the Film Society and the Tennis Association.
I like that.
I don't know how that would.
Evenly?
Yeah, evenly.
I like that too.
Like give them the 10 and then spread the rest around, which
So you want to
would be
give
27 between the 2, and then give 10 to NeighborWorks. So it would be.
You're gonna split the 27
13,
between,
So it'd be 1350 to the rest.
So this is what we're
A
kind
little,
of.
we need one more one.
Where?
One more 0 on both.
Oh,
Because it's 1,000. There you go.
sorry. It
And
is a
then
little
2.
bit distant.
No worries, I can barely see it myself. I think you have it all correct. It looks like it's all.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So we would be.
so Laredo Film Society would get how much?
13,500
500.
instead of their
Yes.
20,000 that they're asking for.
Well, I have a little concern. They had a score of 83, and then I see AHEC, who does a lot in as far as promoting the area of health education, where they were asking for 50,000, and obviously that's probably because of the pandemic and everything that's been going on. It almost seems that we should take some consideration as to how much we would like to give to Laredo Film,
Okay.
and maybe distribute the monies a little different so that, I mean, I
What
can't.
would you suggest? What would be the? Because I could see us giving everybody 10,000, and then playing with that 7,000 that's left over, and we can.
I
Play
like
with
that, I
that.
like that idea of giving everybody a 10 and then letting area health get an extra 7,000.
7,000.
500 or whatever that is.
I think it's 7,000.
7,000.
If we give everybody 10,000, that will leave 7,000 available, and we could give it to AHEC.
Yeah,
How does everybody?
I think
What
their
about
needs seem to be a
The
little
ones that have on both, like
urgent.
Laredo Main Street,
That was one thing I noticed about
That's a good
the
question.
scoring.
right?
Yeah.
Because
At
that's
least
a
I didn't put any weight as to the type of programs that were.
Yeah. I was looking at the mission and the delivery of services, and I was trying to make a parallel to the current needs.
I think Ms. Morris also has a good point. She made the point that Laredo Main Street is on both, and we just awarded them $20,000 for hotel motel. So, and now they're gonna receive another 50,
50.
another 50,000.
So,
I mean, that's another,
And for them, it's just general operations.
I saw that. And over here for marketing material, so.
That's a good point. Yeah. Is this the first year they get applied to both?
This is a
Is there-
No, so they previously applied. The difference is that with general fund, they're paying their operating expenses to actually run their offices. With Hotel Motel, they're actually paying out the expenses to have their event. That brings heads to beds to Laredo.
and this isn't the first time they've done both?
Correct. They've done it before.
So how much was allocated when they did have both functions going?
If I am not mistaken, when I first started, they did receive around $80,000 for general fund, and I think they received 25 from Hotel Motel.
I do want to make a quick note right now that you're mentioning the ones that applied to both. We did get with our legal department because the application for Crime Stoppers under Hotel Motel, they didn't see it qualifying under Hotel Motel. So we're only leaving them under general fund.
Right.
So that's why if you look at your
Yes, I
forms, they're
saw
not
here that
included
it's
on the
on-
Hotel Motel.
Yeah, we graded both.
Correct.
Yes, we,
Or scored
yeah, we spoke with legal and legal decided that they did not qualify under the Hotel
on the
Motel.
hotel motel.
So
you
we're
left
leaving them
under
only
general,
under general, yes.
the Crime Stoppers, but the others that are on both.
Everyone, I believe it is, I believe it might be on Main Street.
I mean, when I was scoring, I was doing what Mr. Rodriguez was saying, also looking at the mission and and a lot of them, to me, were the same thing. Like the Laredo Main Street, the culture, I liked all of those. I even had to go back.
It was
because I
kind of
thought-
abstract, yeah.
Yeah, they were like the same thing.
So there is a difference with Laredo Cultural District and Laredo Main Street. Laredo Main Street hosts the Jimbuzi event. They haven't hosted the event obviously the past 2 years due to COVID. The cultural district, Laredo Cultural District, what they do is they promote events that happen within the cultural district. They don't host an event themselves.
Okay,
That is the difference between those two organizations.
oh, okay. And then that, like the Laredo Center of the Arts also. And Laredo Culture District, I don't know, to me they seem.
Is there
Go ahead.
duplication to some extent?
So the Laredo Center for the Arts is the museum that we have here 2-3 blocks away. They do host art galleries, multiple events throughout the whole year. And in the application they submitted, they did submit all the events that they're
Yes,
planning to
yes.
have
Yes.
the next fiscal year. And that is where the funding is going to. Some of the funding does go to rent, and then the rest goes to obviously their operating expenses, which doesn't cover 100%.
Are they renting from the city?
Yeah,
And
That
they're
was-
only applying for Hotel Motel.
Yes,
Mhm.
they are only
And-
applying for hotel.
yeah, they're not.
I think we need to
Yeah,
focus
this-
on
this
general
one already.
fund.
Yes.
Because I think we already had a motion in the past, so
Mm.
action has already been taken.
So let's go back then to where we were. The idea was initially that we look at the 27,000 and split them up,
Mhm.
which would give AHEC an extra 7, and it'd give the newcomers a base of 10.
Yes,
Is that correct?
that is what we had written down.
We had we were at that point.
Mhm. And I think the comment was made by Ms. Morris about Laredo Main Street.
Yeah.
Whether or not that $50,000 is something we want to continue, or if that's something we want to
Look at.
allocate and maybe
Yeah.
allow for the newer organizations to get a little bit more money from that, because they are getting an extra 20,000
From last year.
from last year. Did you have any a specific idea of what number you wanted to give them instead, or?
There was, I made notes and I was gonna bring it, because I did make notes when I was scoring. And I know that stands out, I had something there, but, okay, because they're already getting the 20,000 from Hotel Motel. So on this one, just instead of the 50,000, also give them half of that.
So 25 of the 15,
Of the 50.
and then what would we do with that extra 25?
Then allocate the difference on more on area health and add the new ones.
So 1, and then we would allocate Imaginarium and the Film Society and NeighborWorks.
Neighborhood.
Well, I mean, NeighborWorks is getting what they asked for, so I don't know if we should allocate more for them. I don't think
No,
that's.
not more for them, just get what
I
they
think
asked for.
they're fine there,
They're fine there.
yeah, as long as, you know, where you're going to have, and of course, the tennis is asking for
That's
20,
right.
20, for 24, right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
there would be the extra 10 that I didn't have written down. So we could evenly split it between the 1, 2, 3, 4, because AHEC is already getting an extra 7, so that would put them at 13
Mhm.
or 12? 12. Oh, sorry, guys.
And you want to divide the 25?
Between the 4? Between the 4.
Or new
But would you
Six.
have to divide it among the 4, because neighborhood already,
But there's still, I'm including AHEC in the
Oh, okay,
4.
okay, gotcha.
Or we're not including. So you would want to include in the only the new organizations and leave AHEC at 12?
Yes.
So then the 3
I'd like to see what it looks like if you divide it by 4.
How much?
To put into NeighborWorks?
25 divided by 4, I guess.
25 divided by 4, you would be looking at 6,250 to each
Each.
organization.
So that would put AHEC at 1850. It would put the rest at 1650.
But we're going over our neighborhood, because they asked for
Yeah.
2. Yeah, okay, no, I'm,
No, we're not going to add anything to NeighborWorks because NeighborWorks is not included in the 4.
oh, okay, okay, okay.
Yeah, so it would be 650 to everybody, excluding NeighborWorks. So it'd be 1650 everybody else, and then 1850 for AHEC.
Okay,
If that's
I think in the 4, you're including Area Health, Film Society.
Imaginarium.
Imaginarium did receive, so they had received.
Oh, they did. Okay.
Yes, they received the 10.
Okay.
Yes.
Then I'm looking at I saw 0 there.
It was only
Sorry.
3 new ones, right?
I'm sorry, because it wasn't included in the print.
So okay, so 10 they got last year. They're getting 10
Yes,
this year.
they're getting the 10 this year. Well. So you would be, if
The
you
25.
wanted to do it, how you were mentioning, excluding NeighborWorks, you would be dividing it between the 3.
Between the 3. Okay.
So we would be looking at 8,333 for each of, which would be Area Health, Laredo Film, and Tennis Association.
And that's leaving our, from the general fund, moving Main Street to 25.
Yes.
and so that means that the Laredo Tennis would get an extra 8,333?
Yes, which will put them at 18,333.
So we're gonna change
Not,
Laredo Film.
because they had a requested amount of 24. Oh, before that, they were. they
We
got-
were at, yeah. We had put them at 10,
Oh, I see, I see
and
what you
then
mean.
plus the 8,
Okay,
3 even, 833.
okay.
So that would put them at 2,000. Yeah, sorry, 20,000. There you go.
We're off by cents, so we could do $1 to 1.
Off by cents.
Well, cents on each, so it would
Yeah.
be,
So you
if
could,
we would add $1 to
you
one
could
of the
do
organizations.
2334 for AHEC.
Okay.
That'll work. I can live with that.
And then we would be at the total figure.
So Imaginarium would be at what, I'm sorry?
Imaginarium would
Stay at the
be
10.
It'll be,
at the 10.
10.
yeah.
Okay, right, just want to make sure I got this. And Laredo Film would be
At
8323?
Yeah.
18.
18,333.
18333.
And so would Laredo Tennis Association.
And neighbor would stay at 10.
Neighborhoods would stay at 10, and that would be putting Laredo Main Street at 25.
Any other thoughts in regards to this?
I'm just, I think this is very palatable. I just want to make, I want to understand that the 50,000 was what they got in when? What was that?
This running fiscal year. So 2021 to 2022.
And then they requested 90.
Mhm.
But to same budget, we were gonna give them what they requested
So,
last year.
If we go with this amount, how much will it be getting total?
25, right?
For both?
For both, it would be
Oh, for-
45.
Yes,
We're giving
45,
them
because
20,000.
for Hotomoto, they're requesting
45 out of what they initially requested was, combined was what, 80?
You said
110.
110.
110.
Yeah, 110.
Okay. I don't have a problem.
Is this agreeable to everybody?
No, let's put it, can you put it?
In the motion?
With all the changes?
I agree.
Okay, so then we're leaving area health at 20,334. We're putting Laredo Film Society at 18,333, as well as Laredo Tennis Association, and we are changing Laredo Main Street to 25. Yes, and we are at our total of the available funds.
So we're using up all the money?
The whole available
Yeah,
funds.
no
It's
reserves.
like we're
Sure.
tapped out.
Yeah.
No, we'd have to take from somebody else to give. If that's something somebody would want to do. I'd like to entertain a motion to accept the proposed recommendation for the fiscal year 2022 to 2023.
Second.
So moved. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Rodriguez. Is there any discussion on the matter? There's no discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed signify by saying nay. Motion passes.
We are.
Can I just say
Congratulations.
something? Reactions from administration?
Record.
Reactions? Thoughts?
We're on, just be aware, we're on open, recorded line
Okay,
here.
all right.
Just to be aware,
So,
we're.
just, I guess.
I just want to
last-
make sure that we've covered all the agencies. That's
think
that's
so.
all I want to say, not thoughts on what we did, but make sure that that our mission is or
Yes.
what is being requested has been accomplished.
Yes, so we have.
So that I can have that on record.
Yes, I
We
think
have
so.
scored every agency that was,
Yeah, fine.
available, that applied. And we have recommendations for all the agencies that applied as well, so, we are good on that end.
Would you like to make a note of any that were eliminated and why they were?
Yes, so the only agency that was eliminated was the cultural district for Hotel Motel, and as we stated,
Crime Stop.
Crime
No,
Stoppers,
Crime
I'm so
Stoppers.
sorry,
Hotel Motel.
Laredo Crime Stoppers from Hotel Motel, and that was due to not qualifying under the Hotel Motel regulations.
Okay.
And that was a decision made by.
By-
Rico. Yeah, so Not
Okay.
not us.
So that goes on record, please.
And if we want to introduce any new business?
Just to add it to the record, we did have another applicant submit the supplier information, but not the actual application. So they were not even scored. There was no actual application to score, and that was
Laredo Youth Soccer Academy.
Thank you.
for the record.
Yes.
Okay, and then if anyone would want to introduce any new business.
I just would like to inquire as to what administration is thinking about doing with the fact that we have some members that are no longer with us. Are we going to look for more membership into the committee?
I think usually it's up to the council person or that
Yes.
elected official to appoint
Yes, so they are aware of their
vacancies.
vacancies.
Only to secure quorums for
Yes.
future meetings, because I know that we have a series of meetings that are still pending. This is just kind of like in the middle of the string, right?
Yes, and so they are aware of their vacancies and they are free to fill those vacancies once they have a chosen person. If there's no other business,
I just want to make sure we have this, I mean, are we gonna have like another orientation for the newer members? I know last year we did it, we had a string of meetings. Are we gonna continue those meetings where, hey, we're gonna allow the agencies to come back in and present again?
Yes, so we do have another scheduled meeting for the 15th of this month. And that is basically if it's an if you need it meeting. So basically if you guys want to see what you finally decided here tonight, what's going to be presented to budget in August for council approval, we can have that meeting. But that is only an if needed meeting and if only wanted by obviously the committee. I don't know if you guys want to.
We're the veterans now.
We are, right?
Did you guys want to have like an orientation meeting or some sort of extra meeting?
It would help, just to clarify basically our duties and responsibilities to the committee. It's serious funds, so we just
So we
want to make
understand
sure
our
that
budget.
we're doing everything that we should be doing.
I just want to make sure that, I think I mentioned this last time to you, Mr. Rodriguez, but I'll mention to Mr. Cuello, that if you have a relationship with any of these organizations, to be aware that we do have to file a non-disclosure, or not a non-disclosure agreement, a recusal, so that you don't have to vote for that or have any issues with the impropriety.
I know a lot of these people, so just.
Well, as long as you're not a board member or a decision maker, you're good. You can volunteer, it's okay. Or don't help them with the application either. Specifically, don't help them with the application.
So I can't be a consultant for them?
No, you cannot. You would have to abstain from that voting.
For the record, I'm just kidding, okay?
No, it was a joke. We
It's a
understand.
joke, yeah.
If there's no further business for the board, I would recommend motion to adjourn.
So move.
It's been motioned, it does not need a second. If there's any discussion, we can have it now. There's no discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Motion passes, meeting adjourned.